All right, now we're going to get into Bitcoin adoption here, and let's see what's going on today. And as you can see, Bitcoin adoption rate chart. You guys can take a screenshot of that. This is a Forbes article I looked at. This is talking about the SBR, the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. If Ross Ulbricht got the pardon, we are definitely getting the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Crypto YouTuber and influencer Anthony Pompliano posted on X. Trump will create history with the stroke of his pen. I agree with that. I think this is one step closer to it, to the SBR. Again, hasn't been a lot of news as of this recording about the SBR right now, but I think it's coming, and definitely he hasn't forgotten about Bitcoin. I know he's doing the S coining right now, guys. I know we're upset about that, but again, give him 90 to 100 days, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have a strategic Bitcoin reserve quicker than you think. Here's a video from one of Trump's ex-staffers that used to work for him. Her name is Mandy. Let's check it out.
What do you think has caused the shift in Trump's thinking and the people around him thinking about this issue?
Yeah, I think it's the realization that Bitcoin is a tool for freedom. And it is what you were just talking about. It is the juxtaposition of centralization and central bank digital currencies. So on one hand, you have those who are advocating for more surveillance among the masses and those who embrace freedom. And President Trump, when I worked for him, and a lot of the policies that we instituted, believes in freedom, but also trusts the public with it. His evolution and his approach to cryptocurrency is a policy matter, and then Bitcoin in particular, it has evolved, but it's evolved consistent with the advice and the people around him. So the last thing I'll say, politics is so important for the goals of everyone in this room, which is to grow this industry and protect those innovative opportunities that are out there.
Couldn't agree more. Again, we got to understand and know politics if we want Bitcoin to survive, and we want a free country, and we want our freedom more so than not. Really, it's so important, guys. Don't get caught in the weeds of being, oh, I'm a libertarian, I hate government. Listen, I'm not saying don't hate it and all this other stuff, but make sure, guys, you understand it. All right, guys, this video right here is from the World Economic Forum conference. And Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, was asked about the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Let's see what he has to say.
Gareth Jenkinson here. I'm the managing editor at Cointelegraph. I think I'll throw this at you, Brian, because there was no mention of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. This was one of the promises that Trump kind of made last year at Bitcoin Nashville. Obviously, we saw the Trump meme coin come out this weekend. In some way, shape, or form, this undermined the work that was being done to put forward a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Do you share that opinion, and do you think that this is still very much on the cards for the US going forward in the next year? Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think it undermined anything with the strategic Bitcoin reserve. That effort is still alive and well. Cynthia Lummis in the Senate in the US is really pushing that idea, and I think it would be a good idea for anybody who's not familiar with it. There is a proposal for the US government to start to hold Bitcoin. The U.S. government, like many countries, they hold reserves in a variety of different assets, gold, oil, rare minerals like palladium. And I think they have like maybe 27 different reserves. And so, many governments hold gold. I think they should start to hold Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is essentially the new gold standard.
That's a good point he brings up. There's a lot of reserves. Like you said, there's 20 plus of them that the United States holds. And obviously, if we had Bitcoin as one of those strategic reserves, obviously we'd be number one. We'd be the number one country in the world if we had the most, and we do right now. Because again, Biden didn't get a chance to sell those 90-something thousand. Yeah, I think we really do need it. And again, people don't realize that countries have reserves of different commodities and stuff like that. So I think that's a really good point.
It's, I think, a very core way that you should hold assets and hold value over time. And it's still nascent enough where it has some volatility. It's getting less and less over time, but it still has a lot of upside potential. So I think if the U.S. gets that legislation approved, which I hope they do, the rest of the G20 will follow. And that could be a huge driver of Bitcoin price appreciation.
Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Brian Armstrong, but he's right about that. He really is. He does a lot of S coining, but he's right. I mean, we will be definitely head and shoulders above everybody if we do this. And I think we're going to do it. And hopefully it'll be sooner than later, but we got to be patient, guys, because remember, Donald Trump is not the president of Bitcoin. He's the president of the United States. So give him some time, and I think we'll get it, again, sooner than we think. All right, guys, we got a bright light. Utah proposes Bitcoin reserve bill. Utah is the 11th state to join the Bitcoin reserve movement with the introduction of HB 230 bill. So, yeah, another state is doing it. I think we're up to like 13 right now Here's another U.S. state. Just in, Kansas Senator Bowser introduced Senate Bill 34, proposing the Kansas Public Employees Retirement System allocate up to 10% of its funds in Bitcoin ETFs. Again, this is prime example of gradually then suddenly. You know what I mean? And imagine what's going to happen when the federal government, the United States federal government, does this, guys. It's going to be absolutely insane, and we know that. Again, like I said earlier, gradually then suddenly, update a total of 12 states. It's 13, I believe, and I'll show you that in a second. A total of 12 states are leading the charge to push the strategic Bitcoin reserve bill. Florida, Alabama, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas, Wyoming, Massachusetts, Utah, Arizona. Again, I'm not team red or blue. I'm team red, white, and blue. But if you look at these states, these are mostly red states. And I believe the blue states will be the last one. They'll do it too, but I believe the Republican conservative states are definitely going to do it before the Democratic states. We got a bright light, guys. And right here it says at least 13 U.S. states are crafting legislation for Bitcoin reserves, signaling its rising importance in public finance. This is from beincrypto.com. Bitcoin reserves gain momentum in 2025. 13 states to lead the way. So yeah, more adoption quicker than we think. And I'm telling you guys, it's 13 now, but it's going to be 50 here in the near future.